A 9-year-old autistic boy was found drowned in a lake within a hotel area. Kenapa air menjadi tumpuan kepada anak-anak neurodivergent?
Selalu ada berita yang menyambut keputusan yang cemerlang of mereka yang neurodivergent, mereka yang autistic, and those are the headlines. Memang saya rasa sangat gembira that they are celebrated. Tetapi bagaimana pula mereka yang pas je?
Do not self-pressure ourselves so much that by 18, by 21, anak mesti berdikari.
Hello. Hi. We are here back at Kita Family. Hari ini kami merakamkan episod ke-93. Episod ke-93 ini adalah episod ChitChat Mak-Mak Neurodivergent. We haven't done one of this in some time and we thought there are some things in the news yang kita perlu discuss sebab ini adalah sangat penting untuk diperbincangkan dan diperbualkan dan jadi bahan bualan bagi komuniti kami. Seperti biasa, kami di Kita Family membincangkan perihal yang berkaitan dengan makna serta kepentingan hidup bermasyarakat, menghargai keunikan serta kepelbagaian sesama kita dan juga meraihkan masyarakat yang berbilang agama, kaum dan kepercayaan rupa dan terutamanya keupayaan. Kami juga menghargai hidup secara inklusif yang mengambil kira keperluan segenap lapisan masyarakat, terutama mereka yang kurang atau berkelainan upaya. So in that note, we are going to do a episode chit-chat Mak-Mak Neurodivergent to discuss two important things that have been in the news. The first thing is berita yang sedih yang kami telah baca masa selepas Hari Raya di mana seorang budak autistik lelaki telah pun lemas di swimming pool ataupun kolam renang di hotel hotel lake.
Hotel lake. I think it was a tasik in the hotel.
A lake within the hotel.
Yep.
So sorry. So I'm going to read this out. Yeah. This was on March 26th. A 9-year-old autistic boy was found drowned in a lake within a hotel area in Lukut. And he was believed to have left the hotel room without his family's knowledge. And that was on the 25th of March 2026. In light of this, kami akan bincangkan the topic of water safety. Kenapakah keselamatan semasa menggunakan air atau di perkarangan sebab mana-mana perairan adalah sangat penting untuk komuniti neurodivergent. Saya akan mula dengan memperkenalkan dua-dua rakan seperjuangan iaitu Desiree.
Hai, selamat sejahtera.
Dan juga kakak SK.
Apa khabar?
Okay, hari ini Nuri dengan Didi masih beraya, so mereka cuti sikit. Tapi kami akan membincangkan topik berkenaan water safety. Untuk memulakan topik ini, kakak boleh tak kakak memberikan satu gambaran kenapa air menjadi tumpuan kepada anak-anak neurodivergent? So why is water such an attraction?
Sebenarnya air atau bermain dengan air memang ajaib untuk skala anak-anak kecil. Do you remember?
Yes.
Even as a child, naturally-nya mereka tertarik, anak-anak kebanyakannya tertarik kepada air. So dalam anak yang berlainan keupayaan or our autistic children, sebenarnya ada ciri-ciri mungkin dari aspek air yang menenangkan, sama ada dalam pendengaran, aliran air, the soothing sound, from the sound aspect, also maybe from a sense of bila air is surrounding you, there is that hugging feeling. These sensory, ciri-ciri sensory ni mungkin lebih menarik kepada anak-anak neurodiverse kami. Yeah. There is another aspect of when water move, maybe it's attracting to their sense of movement. Yeah. Remember, a lot of our autistic or maybe ADHD individual, they like to move. And that water is quite fascinating, mengajaibkan lah sebenarnya. Satu lagi ciri about water and the risiko of water drowning is their sense of distance, jarak. Ya, mereka memang ada yang tak what's the word? Not so aware, of the sense of distance. So all this ciri-ciri sensory does increase the risk of water safety for our neurodivergent. One other that we are aware about as well is impulsivity. They can't help themselves. They somehow tak mendapat camkan that there is danger. It is their literal way of looking at one item. So they may not be able to differentiate danger or just water. So that again is another aspect. We as sama ada ibu bapa ke, guru-guru ke, and just people around them need to be alerted.
Okay. So kakak, saya nak bacakan, ini adalah kajian yang sering dipetik dan mula diterbitkan di American Journal of Public Health tahun 2017 yang meletakkan risiko anak-anak neurodivergent kira-kira 160 kali lebih tinggi berbanding dengan rakan-rakan neurotypical dan risiko mereka untuk melarikan diri untuk pergi ke tempat pengairan kira-kira 70% lebih daripada kematian tersebut. So the risk is so much higher. It's 160 times more.
Yes.
And the risk of death is about 70%. Drowning is always something that we all scared of as parents, especially with little kids. But these statistics are very alarming.
And these statistics are facts, kan? That's why kalau dalam situasi Malaysia in a temperate climate, I mean, we had a chat just now. Currently, there is a heat wave.
Yes.
Right? So we have been, in fact, encouraged. If you hear the public announcement in radio, they say keep cool. Drinks lots of water. So when they are literal, they don't see the difference, right? And that's why the adult being aware of the risk is important. That there's this true risiko that can be life-threatening.
Okay. Now, Desiree, I want to ask you something different. What do you think causes a neurodivergent child to be more experimental in a water surrounding? Sebab mereka ni macam jadi tiba-tiba berani walaupun mungkin tidak mempunyai kemahiran untuk berenang. So what makes them so brave bila ada air?
Saya rasa daya tarikan rasa air pada kulit mereka tersebut.
So deria mereka.
Deria. And we know that a big part of autism is sensory processing. And some of our friends, they enjoy that sensation. So satu contoh, saya ada seorang kawan di UK, itu dia adalah autistic, dan bila saya bertemu dengan dia, it was on this app called Clubhouse. soalan pertama yang saya tanya dia, sebab dia sangat open untuk membincangkan tentang diagnosis and her experiences. So saya tanya dia, I said, apakah daya tarikkan air? Sebab anak saya memang tertarik sangat dengan air. So her response was, she said, I cannot explain to you, but when I'm in the shower, when the shower is hitting my body, I feel a sense of calm and I don't want to get out. And dia ni seorang yang dewasa. So kalau dia tidak mengingatkan diri dia, and with lots and lots of training to remind herself, oh, my shower is over, dia takkan keluar daripada shower tersebut. He said it's just the feeling of the water hitting her body that gives her that whatever she needs in that moment, whether it's a boost, or it's a sense of calm, or it's a sense of refreshment. So I think it's the daya tarikan tersebut memang membuatkan seseorang itu memang tak boleh resist. Boleh resist. And coupled with the fact that anak-anak yang autistic, even ADHD, I think, are prone to elopement. And with ADHD, a bit more on the impulsive side, right? So elopement plus water plus impulsive equals, if there is a body of water, I'm going to get there. Dan anak-anak kita ni sangat kreatif. Walaupun we have laid down the ground rules, mereka faham, tak kira sama ada mereka verbal ke non-verbal, mereka faham that these are the rules, mommy and daddy said so. Tetapi bila ada sesuatu yang daya tarikkan dia, memang we cannot resist, they are going to go to it.
Okay, I'm going to go back to Kakak. Kakak, you mentioned something just now about this hot weather and getting into a pool or some body of water is a big attraction. What does it do to a neurodivergent? I mean, does it reduce anxiety? Does it create some form of calmness? Because we've heard about the shower, and I am testament to it because I've had to train my neurodivergent child that he cannot spend too long in the shower because dia suka sangat mandi, right? And he comes out happy.
Absolutely. So, Anit, you mentioned two keywords there, reducing an anxiety. And there's a sense of enjoyment. Let me go back to the senses. Bila ada ditikan air tu, and in a shower, there is regular pressure. And as we know, technically, when you do occupational therapy with sensory integration, sorry, a bit technical, we talk about the sense of space and joint. When there is pressure, let me equate it to, remember when somebody gets disorderly, the police always grab them and hug them?
Absolutely.
That is similar to the works of water around your body, but what more when it is having the pressure that is constantly flowing, as opposed to one constant pressure, it is actually very relieving. So it does reduce anxiety. And in that sense, as we know, kebanyakan individu neurodivergent ni sering dalam keadaan alert and anxious.
Yes.
So you can imagine, bila ada airnya, it is almost nature's way of giving them away, like a mother's womb, right?
Yes.
Surrounding them with an regular as well as constant flowing pressure of comfort. I think that is the key part that we need to recognize. However, because on the other hand, the neurodivergent sensory part cannot sense either time. They have difficulty about time, sense of time. When they start to be immersed in water, they don't have the ability to stop. That impulsivity come in, and that is that boundary where we have to support. That was a very long way of saying pressure provides relief of anxiety. It gives them a sense of safety, right? However, there needs to be some kind of, again, alarm for them to move into another situation. Yeah, that routine that they enjoy comes in, right? The routine that gives them safety is coming in the water that's regularly flowing in that flow.
Okay. Desiree, do you think, my perception is swimming, other than if it's a relay, is not really a team sport. It's an individual sport where someone can swim or someone can just play with water. And it's not always something that you need to do in a social and competitive environment. What are your views about this low social pressure activity that water play or swimming can bring about?
I definitely agree on that. I myself used to swim as a child and a teenager, and I enjoyed it because it was something I could do on my own. Kan? So masa kecil tak ramai kawan-kawan. I didn't make friends very easily, to be honest. So and swimming was, and my parents pun sangat strict. So banyak benda yang tak boleh buat berbanding dengan benda yang boleh buat. So when there's something like swimming that you can do on your own, tak perlu kawan, and with permission from parents and in a safe environment, like we were members of a golf club and adalah the lifeguards and all that. So I really enjoyed it. So I think swimming is a good hobby, I would say, and a good sport. And baru-baru ni pun Hans baru start swimming lessons, right? One of the reasons, of course, was sebab memang sangat mesmerized dengan air. Mana-mana ada air, dia akan cuba masuk ke dalam air tersebut. Ada juga insiden di rumah kawan saya, dia terjun masuk ke dalam fish pond, koi pond dia 3 kali dalam satu outing. So that's how much he loves water. So memang dah enroll Hans dalam swimming lessons, and one of the good improvements that we see is dia akan penat dan malam dia tidur lebih awal.
Yeah, because it's a whole body exercise.
Right. Walaupun kelas tu 50 minit, tapi masih, you say it's a whole body exercise, and our children have an immense amount of energy. So couple with what kakak ceritakan tadi tentang the elements of water and how it actually delivers a kind of pressure to your body. And there's always resistance kan. So walaupun jalan dalam air, you get that resistance. I would equate it to that of maybe trying to fight off a weighted blanket as well. So it's a whole body exercise that boleh memenatkan anak kita.
So it's a form of healing in some way, because they let go of their anxieties, they regain some form of calmness, and generally they come up either happier or just too tired to have any behavioral issues.
Correct. But the thing is also gaining their trust that it's a regular thing. So memang transitioning adalah sesuatu yang sangat susah untuk anak-anak kita. And like what kakak mentioned just now, coming out of the water kan, memang they will lose all sense of time.
Yes.
Sebab dah sangat seronok. So memang, of course, and this is also a bit of sharing to parents who are considering swimming lessons and dreading the end of the lesson. I'm there right now. Tetapi don't give up. Transition it. Explain. Use your words. And eventually they will gain your trust. So contohnya macam Hans, he has a specific bag for swimming. So dia dah tahu kalau nak pergi swimming, that is the bag. Itu baju dia. Where to put the bag when he comes back. So when we tell him, okay, tomorrow you're going swimming again. So we build and gain that trust. Now there is less resistance to come out at the end of the lesson.
That is building in that routine.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, in every sport lah, and swimming is an excellent sport. Yeah. Aside from having pressure, it's a lot. Yeah. Organizing that bag. Yeah. We go back to when there is activity. It is a reason to have fun, but also learn organizing, time management, all of planning, and and technically again, executive functioning. Kan? So even in swimming, even with water, we can move away from just being worried about water, but taking an advantage for the motivation that they enjoy the water. What can we do with that to help them learn as well?
Okay, so this was a very sad piece of news, which is what we started discussing this topic about. So macam mana kita nak buat preventive measures? Kita nak belajar supaya kita tahu anak-anak neurodivergent ni lebih suka kepada air dan mempunyai statistik untuk tenggelam ataupun drowning atau lemas adalah lebih tinggi. So what can we as neurodivergent parents do to take steps to minimize that risk?
Honestly, sebagai biasa, whatever is needed for our typical children, we are more watchful when we understand the ciri-ciri of our neurodivergent. So that includes the physical side of fencing where there is, child safety lock where there is, and these locks are now quite easy to get, especially online juga. Yeah, so child safety lock, mempagarkan swimming pool, and make sure there's pelampung that is needed is readily available. Yeah, simple. Start with the simple things.
Okay. A more watchful eye, Desiree?
Yes, definitely. And I think always prepare is what Nori always says, and we always say that prepare. Kalau kita akan pergi ke tempat yang baru, tanya terlebih dahulu whether it's rumah kawan ke, just inquire in advance. I do that since the jumping 3 times into my friend's fish pond incident. I akan tanya kawan-kawan, okay, is there a fish pond or is there any water feature in your house, just so that I know to prepare myself and my child. Katakanlah pergi bercuti dekat hotel, right? Semua hotel ada some form of water.
Oh, absolutely.
Kan? So be extra vigilant, take turns with the people in your trip to keep an eye on your neurodivergent child, always lock your hotel room doors. And another thing, I think, and this is coming from someone who doesn't make friends easily, be friendly with the people in the hotel as soon as you check in. If they notice your child, like recently, so we were on a trip to India, and Hans was playing with the sliding doors. And I let him because this way the people in the hotel knew who he was and knew who I am, and most likely the receptionist who got suddenly very friendly with me would know which room I am, so I am in. So if anything, katakanlah Hans terkeluar dari bilik or whatever, it just takes a second, he would be recognizable to people. So I think this is another thing that we don't often talk about or we don't read about anywhere. It doesn't hurt to be a little bit more friendly when you are out with your neurodivergent child.
Okay, so I'm going to summarize this and sort of also give you some things that we have discovered in our research. One of the things, and I quote this, Dr. Gua Huali, a professor in Columbia University, emphasized that swimming ability for neurodivergent kids is an imperative survival skill. And she says this, he says this because he says lessons should be started as early as possible, even before other therapies.
Fantastic.
Due to the life-threatening risks of drowning. Ini adalah satu warning ataupun amaran yang diberi oleh profesor daripada Columbia University bahawa kita perlu mengajar anak-anak neurodivergent apakah itu keselamatan di perkarangan air sebelum memulakan mana-mana terapi. And I'm sort of reminded Didi telling us that when she sent her 2 girls for swimming classes is when she learned swimming. So it's never too late as a parent that even if you don't know how to swim, this would be your chance to learn with your neurodivergent child. And further it says, water can also provide unique benefits for the auditory sensitivities it muffles overwhelming sounds. And for many, the water pressure delivers a calming sensory experience. And beyond safety, it offers lifelong fitness benefits. We just spoke about how it's whole body exercise. It fosters self-confidence and inclusion. I think one of the top Olympic medalists from Australia was neurodivergent, wasn't he?
Correct. I just slipped the mind, but
Michael Phelps?
was that Michael Phelps?
Is he?
I'm not quite sure, but
Don't quote us.
don't quote us. But we know he was a huge, and he was a gold medalist like multiple times, and I know he was neurodivergent. So please look out for water safety. Teach your children that, because it teaches them to develop physical strength, coordination, emotional regulation in a controlled, supportive environment if they are trained to have these life-saving skills.
Yeah, and I think we should encourage parents. Actually, there are quite a few swimming schools now who are intentional to help neurodivergent children to have swimming skills. They are available. Please just Google them.
Exactly.
Yeah. And really, I love what you remind us. Yeah, this is part of not just an early intervention, but it's a very practical tip. Yeah,
Life skill.
it's life skill, practical tip that is enjoyable, that can be enjoyable for the little ones.
Can I just add one last thing?
I want you to add more because you orang PD. You kan ada beach.
Orang PD that technically not. Okay, my parents live in PD. Saya kerap balik ke PD untuk menziarah ibu bapa. Tetapi Desri tidak suka pantai.
Okay, but
I
because
have issues with sand.
not because of the water. We
the
chat
sand.
about that.
Yeah, it's the sand. I don't like the sand on my feet. But so I just wanted to add again on the water safety to emphasize that walaupun anak kita tahu berenang, or they can even be Olympic champions or swim instructors, water is something that you can drown in even in as low as 1 to 2 feet.
In your bathtub.
Even in your bathtub. So, I would say, yes, of course, hantarlah anak-anak kita untuk belajar berenang. Tetapi jangan take for granted at the same time.
Yes.
Especially in larger, bodies of water like the ocean and all that. It just takes in undercurrent to sweep you away. You can't fight that.
Absolutely.
And like what Anit was saying, how the muffled sounds of outside when you're underwater. So it just takes that extra few seconds for our kids to forget to come up. And they can just lose control.
And
Safety first.
Yes, and benda ini boleh terjadi semasa banjir. Our country, we are so prone to floods during rainy season. So semasa banjir pun, walaupun air naik, dia tak sedalam yang mungkin di swimming pool. Tetapi kalau tiada life-saving skills, ada bahayanya bahawa sesiapa boleh lemas dalam air banjir itu.
Jangan lupa ya, dalam Malaysia and in Asia country, kami ada banyak longkang besar.
Ya, monsoon drain.
Monsoon drain, yeah, which may not be so common in non-temperate countries. Yeah, so jaga-jaga. I remember as a child, I loved to play with my siblings in longkangs. Yeah,
know of many people who have fallen in by accident as well. I mean, we laugh at them, but it's dangerous and it's painful.
So some of the other tips are create a visual story. Kita boleh buat social story yang memberikan peraturan kepada anak kita supaya macam mereka perlu tanya sebelum masuk air. Do not enter the water without mummy or daddy ataupun kakak, supaya mereka tidak akan cuba berseorangan. Tetapi anak kan ada juga nakal. So mereka, they will push boundaries. Tetapi ini adalah langkah-langkah yang kita boleh ambil.
Yeah, so that's a very good example. So with Hans, memang kita dah set boundary tersebut. Apa benda pun yang dia nak buat di luar, he needs to look for our approval. So even when we go to my abang Ipa's house, dekat rumah tu memang ada swimming pool. And so I never take for granted that the pool is there. So there are days where he is allowed to go in and there are days that he's not. Tapi dia akan tanya. Right? Dia akan tanya. But it just takes a split second if you are not within his eye view and he gets the idea and he looks for approval and no one is there. Then ada pernah sekali he jumped in fully clothed into the pool. Tetapi luckily it's a pool that he's familiar with dan kami telah ajar dia untuk pegang the sides.
I think those are very important tips. Dan di laman web ada juga websites ataupun video yang boleh mengajar parent bagaimana untuk menggunakan certain kemahiran atau mengajar kemahiran untuk keselamatan dalam air. So these water safety tips are available on the websites, available on YouTube. Please go and Google them. I know orang tua-tua akan cakap apa budak ni belum setahun dah masuk dalam air, dah ajar berenang, but it's a life-saving skill. And sometimes the earlier you do it, the faster they take to it.
Really.
Okay. So any last thoughts about water safety before we take a quick break?
As a reminder, it is life-saving.
Absolutely. Okay. So dengan ini kami akan ambil satu break yang pendek dan we will be back untuk the second part of this where we discuss the theme for Autism Awareness and Acceptance Day 2026. See you soon. Hello, selamat kembali ke episod 93 Kita Family Podcast. Ini adalah episod ChitChat Mak-Mak Neurodivergent dan dalam segmen pertama kami telah membincangkan berkenaan keselamatan dalam air, water safety. Dalam segmen kedua pula, kami nak bincang what is relevant for this week. Ini adalah coming up to April, which is Autism Awareness Month. Dan specifically April 2nd adalah Autism Awareness and now Acceptance Day, iaitu Hari Kesedaran dan juga penerimaan autism. Topik ataupun tema yang ditetapkan oleh United Nations atau Pertubuhan Bangsa-Bangsa Bersatu tahun ini adalah Autism and Humanity, Every Life Has Value. That's a big statement. Two big statements in one slogan, iaitu autism dan humanity, iaitu autisma dan keperimanusiaan, dan juga every life has value. That means setiap nyawa mempunyai nilainya sendiri. How poignant. Ini adalah untuk meningkatkan kesedaran bahawa anak-anak neurodivergent dan spesifiknya anak-anak autisma ini boleh diraikan dan kelainan mereka juga boleh diraikan kerana mereka mempunyai nilai tersendiri. In light of that, we're going to discuss something that happened this week as well. This week, keputusan SPM 2025 telah pun diterbitkan dan in light of all the announcements and people doing well, ada juga news article yang memberi perhatian kepada anak-anak OKU dan juga anak-anak autisma yang telah mencapai keputusan cemerlang. Terdahulu, kami dari Kita Family ingin memberi tepukan gemuruh dan juga syabas kepada kesemua anak-anak yang menduduki SPM dan terutamanya anak-anak neurodivergent yang telah menduduki SPM dan tidak kira apa result mereka, tidak kira apa keputusan, we are proud of you. Ini adalah satu landmark, milestone yang perlu dilalui and we're proud of you for doing that. Desri, you had some thoughts earlier of how these neurodivergents are celebrated after results come out.
So firstly, let's ucapkan tahniah kepada adik Nur Syahira Syazwani Zailani from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Agama Naim Lil Banat for scoring 1 A plus, 6 A's, 3 A minus and 1 B surpassing her initial target of 8 A's. So memang bila saya tengok berita macam ni and knowing that adik ni autistic dan memang ada masalah dengan social interaction, memang I want to acknowledge the challenges that she went through and to let her know that we see you for all the struggles that you went through and we are exceptionally tumpang makcik-makcik ni tumpang bangga lah for your achievement, right? On the other end of this news is every year bila masa SPM ke, whether it's convo season ke, selalu ada berita yang menyambut keputusan yang cemerlang of mereka yang neurodivergent, mereka yang autistic, and those are the headlines. Memang saya rasa sangat gembira that they are celebrated. Tetapi bagaimana pula mereka yang pas je? Right? And the struggles that they went through to achieve that pas saja. And ada juga baru-baru ni kan we had Associate Professor Roslinda.
Dr. Rose, yeah.
And she mentioned that dalam di university di mana beliau bekerja, they don't have a graduate on time for neurodivergence. And so I'm hoping the narrative in the media dalam jangka masa panjang dapat berubah juga, that we can celebrate those who are neurodivergent yang mengambil masa yang lama untuk graduate, tetapi the point is they never gave up.
Betul.
They never gave up, right? And the fact that our kids already have to try so much harder.
Yes.
And the fact that you have to try so much harder, it actually is easier for you to just get up one day and say, I give up. Tapi mereka tak give up. And they've spent most of their lives and still spend most of their life fighting for their rights, fighting for a seat at the table, fighting for longer assignment deadlines. And I think I wish and I hope that we can celebrate those in the middle as well, in addition to celebrating those who do exceptionally well.
I like to add one more dimension. Yes. So sebenarnya the ability to persevere, daya tahan anak-anak dan student-student ni, we have to celebrate. Yeah. What I think I like to alert lah. Although we always definitely gembira and celebrate academic achievement, whether it's top 8s, as you mentioned, not only to celebrate the A's, but to celebrate any success. Sebenarnya 75% of, this is a American CDC statistics, 75% of autistic individuals actually have at least average or above average intellect.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think what we need to be able to appreciate is still support in areas of emosi, emotional regulation. These are not emphasized enough.
Independence.
Absolutely, because when we transit from A-levels, or we speak about transition to university, the scaffolds, the structures, semua akan bertukar.
Yeah.
And by the way, the intellect of these individuals, again, is there. However, many a times, dia tercicir apabila dia tak dapat hand in the homework.
Yeah.
Okay. And for the first time when they go to university, there is a big shock. Not only from the university student, tapi dari ibu bapanya. Apa terjadi? But there is this independence that you mentioned when they are at home, still maybe at secondary school level, and when they berdikari, so to say, to a more open environment, whether it's in academic timetable or just having got to look after washing clothes,
Yes.
getting meals on time,
Cooking.
all this, it can really be a new routine that needs to be established. And as we know, when routine are lost, anak-anak kami get anxious.
Yes.
Kan? So coming back again in a very long way, as we celebrate academic performance, do not forget to continue. Yeah, it's a lifelong. Yeah, I'm going to say this again. It's a lifelong support that we need for our emotional well-being, our mental well-being.
So I'm going to pose this question. Why do autistic people always have to prove that they are worthy?
I have the same question.
I want to answer that again.
Yes.
Because us neurotypical have this myth, MYTH, yeah? Dia tersalah lah. Actually, their academic ability is there.
Yeah.
Kan?
So adik ini kami mengucapkan ribuan tahniah dan we are cheering you on. Hopefully, university with a disability inclusion unit will give you the support that you need to take your academic abilities to a higher level because we know you have it.
Yep.
And for those who didn't do so well, there may be a chance at university. The penny may drop there. Kadang-kadang a different environment may be the right way to learn, and a less structured university course may be your ability to thrive. So jangan putus asa, dan kami ingin mengucapkan selamat maju jaya kepada kesemua anak-anak yang lepasan SPM dan khususnya kepada mereka yang neurodivergent ataupun OKU. Kami juga harapkan lebih ramai akan apply dan masuk kepada Institut Pengajian Tinggi.
Yeah. I want to add one more very interesting conversation I just had with a parent regarding independence and the desire that dia berdikari, and the pressure of parents to have our neurodivergent anak tu berdikari. Sebenarnya, we need to be there to support to any level or any duration. Because we always say individual abilities are different. Remember, we talk about different level of support. If parental support continues to be required into university, into the workplace, why not? Yeah.
Yes.
So in our discussion, we also need to be more supportive, be realistic, and be practical. Do not self-pressure ourselves so much that by 18, by 21, anak mesti berdikari. Yeah. So I learned a lot in that conversation with that parents. The feeling of pressure that our adult children, who still our children kan. I am a 60-year-old child of my parents.
Yes. And you will always be.
And will always be cared for. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think the pressure to for independence, especially for neurodivergent kids, is a lot higher.
Absolutely.
And if you really look at it, one thing I like to always emphasize is low support needs does not equal no support.
Absolutely.
Right? And the other thing, the fact is, all of us need some form of support.
Yeah.
Semua orang. Tak kira whether neurodivergent, neurotypical, we all need help in some way or form. So even, yes, I know parents mean well. Kita nak anak kita berdikari sebab satu hari nanti kita tak ada di dunia ni. Tetapi mereka pun kena cari kawan. And I think we need to, for some of our kids that need that extra support, let's help them find that support while we're still here.
Okay, so this is all part of the autism awareness and acceptance, and that every life has value, and we are promoting that. In light of that, I'm going to bring up something else. Ini adalah satu news report ataupun laporan akhbar yang telah pun antarabangsa, ya, bukan di Malaysia, yang telah pun melaporkan bahawa walaupun organisasi telah menjadi lebih peka ataupun kesedaran adalah meningkat berkenaan neurodiversity, tetapi banyak pekerja neurodivergent telah melaporkan bahawa bagi kerja-kerja harian or day-to-day activities, kesedaran ataupun improvement itu peningkatan support ataupun peningkatan terhadap kesefahaman masih berkurangan. This is a little bit sad. So I'm going to quote this. It's a Neurodiversity Index report of 2026. It highlights a growing gap between what employers believe that they are doing and what the employees actually feel. This report was published by Professor Amanda Kirby and the City and Guilds Foundation. And the report shows that employer awareness has increased from 70% to 75%. That's a big jump in 1 year. Significant. However, that has not translated to better support on the ground. Employees report an opposite trend. Manager capability to support neurodivergent staff has dropped from 55% to 52%, while psychological safety has declined from 60% to 55%. Researchers are describing this disconnect as an awareness action gap. Okay, so Kakak, what would be your comment on this Autism Awareness and Acceptance Day on these findings that have just been published?
I think for the audience who have been following us, you know how positive I am, yeah? But I have to say, saya memang berat hatilah.
Yeah.
Heavy-hearted. That at the adult level and at the that report actually I think was addressing also access to employment too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Memang there has been not much progress in the space of just over a decade that Oasis Place has been working at adult level. I must say there have been few more. Yeah, I would say only a handful more of private services that I'm aware about that is pushing and advocating and providing skills not only for the neurodivergent but also for the employers. However, the pace of that growth is terribly slow and far too small. Yeah. Whilst I want to shout out to large organizations like Petronas, the supermarket like Eons, and our local one, the big, I'm sorry, the name slips me, it'll come back. There are local, large companies that employers. However, it's still fall far short. And we must continue in spite of the slow pace. In fact, in a way, it motivates me more, both at a personal level and at a, if you like, at the industry level, for us to continue to have voices about this, about training, about opening doors to people who work differently. There's much work to be done.
So on that note, I'm going to relate it back a bit to what I said earlier about what we see in the news. Right? So first thing, awareness, kan, kesedaran. And every year I hear this. Tahun ni belum terdengar lagi lah. Kenapa? Sampai bila kita nak adakan kesedaran? Terima je lah, terima. Memang, I mean, we are getting there. A lot of us are there already. Tetapi kesedaran ni and awareness has to still be every day. Sebab there are many people out there still not aware.
Yeah.
And the level of their awareness setakat yang mereka baca dalam berita. And what is berita reporting?
anak 8A.
Exactly. So when an employer sees anak 8A or Dean's List,
Yeah.
Top scorer 4.0 CGPA.
Greta Thunberg.
Wow. These are people who are amazing. Great. I welcome you into my workforce. Tetapi there's a mismatch because the challenges are not highlighted. So I think we need a lot more balanced reporting that yes, let's celebrate the success. But the success didn't just happen overnight. Let's acknowledge the challenges along the way. And the fact of the matter is the majority of neurodivergents are not your high achievers.
No.
They are somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
In a way, then I have to give a shout out again that in our education system, the now more promoted technical vocational education, which
TVET.
the TVET, and I understand that there is a lot more pickup or acceptance of going into an education that is not mainstream, but will be highly valued. Yeah.
In fact, in the news, Kakak, there's been the story this week, I think, of the first TVET student to get a PhD.
Amazing, isn't it?
Amazing.
And
she started in the TVET route. So there is
in
no
fact, your
limitation.
Your report tadi tu, Prof. Amanda Kirby, the City Guilds di UK tu memang is a vocational education group of students. So we know as employees of industry, the hands-on type of skill set is going to be actually possibly getting to higher value work than perhaps just the office work.
I think the one thing that the news does acknowledge is it's far more difficult with challenges for a neurodivergent to achieve the same results as a neurotypical child. So we celebrate that portion of the news and we celebrate that reporting, and kami juga meraihkan ibu bapa yang telah menyokong anak-anak mereka untuk mencapai keputusan yang cemerlang. Syabas. Tetapi pada hari kesedaran dan penerimaan autisma ini, kami juga mempunyai harapan bahawa topik-topik yang kami bincangkan ini akan menjadi satu inspirasi untuk perubahan yang ketara, yang meaningful, real structural and meaningful change instead
Systemic
of
change. Yeah?
systemic change, instead of just saying yes, we accept, but you have to work within this environment.
Best action.
Yes, so yes,
Let's do it.
let's do it. So that. Well, before we end, can I just on that note, can I just ask what would be your wish list on this World Autism Awareness and Acceptance Day? For both of you, Kakak and Desri. Who wants to go first?
I think the humanity bit, the fact that humanity is in the theme this year is very meaningful because we are all humans first. And I think if we can see that each and every single person is human first, we can all be a lot kinder because that is the element that makes us all the same.
And then I would definitely love the value aspect. Yeah, it's not how expensive it is, what investment it is. It's about the value, nilai keseorangan, as well as in group. Everybody is included because each and every one of us have value.
Yes.
What about you, Anit? What's your wish?
Well, my wish list is the neurotypicals will understand and recognize neurodiversity better and not just pay lip service, and that humanity point, kindness works. We also call out those who take advantage of that kindness. We don't want that happening either. And I have to say it out because there are some people who sort of try to hide behind labels. We are not promoting that, but for those who need support to perform the task, some form of inclusion, equity will go a long way.
With diversity.
Absolutely. Anything else to say?
No, I think we're all good.
Ya. So ini adalah episod 93 ChitChat Mak-Mak Neurodivergent. Jika anda telah mendapat apa-apa pedoman daripada perbincangan kami, sila hantar mesej ataupun memberi komen kepada klip-klip kami ataupun di laman social media. Kami adalah jenis yang akan membaca setiap komen. So find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We also are on YouTube and Spotify. Leave us your comments and your aspirations for this World Autism Awareness Day and what you would like to see. Maybe that could be a topic for another day. Right? With that, thank you so much and signing off episode 93. Bye.